and welcome to the episode 1 of The Healing Laugh, a podcast where grief meets gentle humor. So, on today's episode, I'm going to tell you my story, and then the consequent episodes, you're going to be having guests who will be sharing their stories. But remember, this is not a sad podcast. No, this is a podcast where we talk about real issues where we talk about loss of loved ones, how we handle the loss of our loved ones, how we received the news, the culture shocks we went through, the awkward things our relatives did, the awkward things we did as people who are going through grief and loss. So this is not a sad podcast at all. This is a real life podcast. So on today's episode, if you follow me on TikTok, you know I have spoken about my mom's death there. However, I know that people on YouTube who are not on TikTok, so I'm going to share my story. So my name is Brenda Nyambeki. I was raised by a single mother. My dad died when I was less than 1, so I didn't get to experience my dad's side. So I was raised by my mom. And this episode, we're not talking about, the struggles we went through the mom. No, I'm talking about how I received the death of my mom and just the consequent things that happened after that. So the year is 2016. I remember very well. I was in third year at the university, at the Maseno University, the only university on the equator. Drum rolls. So we were home for long holidays though. And I remember that month we were supposed to go back to school in, was it August or September? I can't September. Supposed to go back to school in September. So this is what happened. I was home for long holidays. It was a July. Please note, my mom died on the 24th, July 2016. Yes. Higher. So this is what had happened. On July 21st, that was my mom's birthday. So this is what happened. My brothers and I decided, okay, let's celebrate mom's birthday. My mom had a hotel in Masai Lodge. If you guys know where is it the Think Twice Mall? Where's the Think Twice Mall Eco Masai Lodge? That is where my mom had a hotel. There were several hotels, quote unquote kibandaski. Let's not, watch it tuseme ukweli. But my mom had, there were several of them there. So my mom had one. Where Think Twice is and where Nibs is was a primary school. Please note this name so that when I come back, when we continue with the story, you'll understand where how these things are related. So 21st July, we get a cake. I go buy the cake. I come. I surprise my mom. She had customers at her Kibandaski is called a makeshift hotel, But it was not that bad. It was a fancy. My mom had all the women there. There were like 3 women. They had put nice structure so that their customers could not get burnt or get burnt by the sun or get rained on. So I came with the cake. I surprised my mom. She had customers there. She shared the cake with some of the customers. And it was really amazing. Like, my mom, that day she was turning 52. Yeah. We went home that day. That was on July 21st. Remember I told my mom died on July 24th. Are we together, class? Clap for yourselves. So, July 24th was a Sunday. I remember very well. July 24th was a Sunday. On July 23rd, now on Saturday, I hope you're following me keenly. My mom had a sister who used to live in Rongai, who had just moved to Rongai. She hadn't stayed in Rongai for so long. She had moved there, now past Masai Lodge. We used to stay at 4th Avenue or 5th Avenue? I can't really remember. And then my aunt used to stay at Honeypot, opposite Club Legend. Yeah. Watu wanaendanga Dunda, I know you can relate. I know you know that club. So opposite Club Legend, there was a Honeypot. There's a club called the Honeypot. So my aunt used to stay on that route. So we had agreed. My aunt was not feeling well. So my mom said she's going to spend at her sister's place just to check up on her and catch up with her. And then I was like, since I'm alone, because my brothers that time, I have 2 brothers. I'm the only girl and I'm the last, but just so you know. And then so I told my mom, since you won't be home, let me also go for a sleepover. And then we agreed on Sunday, the following morning, we were to meet at noon. My mom was to go open her hotel and then leave her employees there, employees there, and then she'd proceed to meet me at the salon. We were supposed to get our hairs done. My mom then had started doing her hair. I'll tell you a story of that hair again as we progress with these episodes. So she went to her sister's place. I went to my friend's place. That time I remember I had a kabambe. A kabambe is What is kabambe in English? I didn't have a smartphone. It's not a smartphone. It was it was not Nokia 1110, but it was not a smartphone. So I just had a small phone, but I'd communicate, I'd send texts, I'd do things. So yeah, that's what we agreed. Then I went to my friends for a sleepover. I think my friends and I went out and then came back at around 1 a.m. Please note that my not so smartphone was very functional even while we were out. Even at that 1 a.m. when we were coming back to the house, my not so smartphone was fully functional, very functional. Then in the morning, see now I know I need to go meet my mom. So I woke up at around 8 something or 9. Then I told my friends, I'm leaving because I'm going to meet mom. So my plan was to go home. Was I supposed to go freshen up and change clothes or something like that? I can't really remember the exact thing I was supposed to go do home. No, I wasn't supposed to go home. I had showered and changed at my friend's place. So I was going straight to my mom's place, to my mom's hotel to pick her up and just catch up with her. And then we go to the salon. So my friend used to stay at Kobil. Everyone who stays in Rongai, I hope you remember, you know those things, those places I'm mentioning. My friend used to stay at Kobil. Then I get to the bus station. I stand there for like 5 minutes. So remember the hotel my mom had, she used to have some of her frequent customers were some of the drivers and the touts for that route, for those buses, mini buses, the Rongai mini buses. So my mom was quite a celeb kwa hawa wase wa matatu and stuff. So I get to the bus station. I stand there for like 2 minutes. I see one minibus has passed. This minibus had one driver that I knew. And then he just did. Most drivers, when they do this, it means it's full. But I could say the bus was not full. But I was like, okay, maybe he's just going to the garage. So I let it pass. Then I think 3 minutes later, another one passed. This one didn't even do anything. He just looked at me and passed. So I was standing there, I'm wondering, what's happening? Kwani hawa watu wamekosana na mama yangu ndo hataki kunibeba leo ama wako na deni ya mama yangu anakuwa, because these people will eat at mom's hotel and some will not pay at that moment. They'd wangeandikwa kwa kitabu ya deni, like they'd just come and pay later. So I was wondering, kwani mnaniogopa mister, kama mjalipa hamjalipa ni bebeni. So I stood there for like I think 8 to 10 minutes. Three minibuses passed and all the drivers, two drivers and one tout, they refused to smama I board the bus. So I was like, okay, let me just keep waiting for another one. Then when I was there, this tuk-tuk came, this tuk-tuk guy. The driver of the tuk-tuk was a good customer of my mom. Then he saw me and then he came to my direction. I was like, Brenda, what are you doing here? Of course, in Kiswahili. Then I'm like, nimekuwa nikingoja magari niende kwa mom, but these people are just not cooperating. And then he went silent for like a minute. Oh, let me take you back. Sorry, let me take you back. So that 1 a.m., while I was at my friend's place, in the morning, my phone just went off. My not so smartphone just went off like that. I do not know how. I do not know. To date, I even have a trauma of my phone going off. I can never allow my phone to. I'd rather have my phone at 1%, but not switch on my data. So my phone just went off, and then I tried charging it. It was charging, but I tried putting it on. The phone goes on, but the SIM card kept saying SIM card registration failed. So I decided, let me go check at Safaricom, check what's wrong with my line. So I went, I was told, the lady at the Safaricom customer care was really helpful and told me, no, you just need to replace your line. I did. Those days, actually, letter replacement does not take so much time. So I replaced my line. Guys, this is where all the drama now happens. So I've replaced my line. I switch on my line. And then I get a lot of messages. I think guys had tried calling me. And then I receive a couple of messages, but there's one message that stood out for me. This message was from one of mom's customers, He was actually kind of my age mate. Alikuwa, where my mom had a hotel previously, the landlord, he was the son to that landlord. I I hope I'm making sense. He was a son to that landlord. So they had a good relationship with my mom, because to an extent he'd call my mom, mother-in-law. So they just joke about it. So let's call him Jay, but that's not his real name. Tuko sawa? So I receive a message. So remember, I do not have a smartphone. So I did not have backing of contacts. I do not have numbers, because then I've had to register my line again. So I received this message, and then the message reads, "We uko wapi?" So I'm reading it very dramatically, but of course that time it was not as dramatic. So the message went as, "We uko wapi? Unajua madhe amegongwa na gari na amededi actually." So translated to, "Hey, where are you? Do you know Madhe's mom has been knocked down by a car and is dead." So in my head, I was like, this is not my message. And then the next message was Nijay. So I think he thought I didn't have his number. Then he texted Nijay. I was like, this message is not my message. So I was like, maybe it was not meant for me. So I proceed to now the bus station to get a matatu. Then whatever I've explained happened. I now fast forward to the tuk-tuk guy who stood and asked me, "Brenda, unafanya nini hapa?" I was like, "Sinangoja gari niende kwa mom." And then he told me, "Ingia." I got into the tuk-tuk. When I'm in the tuk-tuk, my aunt calls me. My aunt, where my mom had gone for a sleepover. Then she calls me, "Baba." Baba is loosely translated to my dear or my sweet. I don't know, kisses, you can tell us. Then she goes like, "Baba, uko wapi?" Now she called me. I'm like, because I picked up the voice, so I knew this was Auntie so-and-so. And she goes like, I tell her I'm headed to Masai Lodge. I'm going to meet mom. And then she just screamed, "Ooh, usiende Masai Lodge." So now I am so confused at this particular point. I am in this tuk-tuk. One, I've gotten a message that I'm like, this is not my message. Two, I have received this call from my aunt who's telling me not to go to Masai Lodge, and yet we are headed there. So I told this guy, the guy, we used to call him Blackie. I can't remember his name. That was his nickname. We used to call him Blackie. So I told Blackie, na nimepigiwa simu mingi. And then Blackie was really talkative. The Blackie I knew was really talkative. But this day, Blackie was so quiet. Blackie was, like, you just hear, Those were and then the next thing is he's just concentrating on driving his tuk-tuk. Blackie was really quiet that day. So we make our way to Masai Lodge. As he makes that turn now towards Mom's hotel, I see everyone at that stage looking at me weirdly, the tuk-tuk guys, the boda guys. I'm like, Connie, what's happening? These people are looking at me. They're like, that look of, oh yeah, that look of, sasa you. Like it was, there were different stares of, oh my God, stares of wa, ni kama ajui, oh. So it was a bit confusing. So Blackie does higher. Now, if you remember where I told you where the Think Twice mall is at Masai Lodge, that's where the hotel was. Then the Nibs that is in Rongai right now used to be Mbagathi Secondary, if I'm not wrong. Now it's Nibs. So the principal then at Nibs was also Mom's customer. Coincidentally, he'd also call Mom mother-in-law. I don't know what my mom's plan was with all these people. I don't know. So this person who used to call my mom mother-in-law, who was a principal then at Mbagathi, Blackie drove straight to that primary school. So while I'm just alighting, one of my mom's employer sees me. She was a woman. And then goes, "Brenda!" And then she screams. Now I am so confused. Remember the message I got from Jay? Remember the drivers who refused to smama, to do what? To let me board their vehicles. They've refused. Blackie's tuk-tuk, but he's really quiet. He's in a very weird mood. I can't even say he was in a somber mood. He was just in a very weird mood. Remember my aunt's call? Like, I'm just like, she's like, "Don't go to Masai Lodge." And then the stairs at the stage there at Masai Lodge from the Boda guys, the tuk-tuk guys. And then this employer of my mom who goes like, "Oh, "Oi, Brenda, oi!" And then she was crying hysterically. I was like, what's happening? Blackie holds my hand, actually grabs my hand, and takes me straight into that school, that Mbagathi, and then takes me to now my my mom's son-in-law, because then he was not my husband or my boyfriend. So Blackie takes me to the principal. Let's call him Simon. Simon looks at me and then says, Brenda, you're here. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. What's happening? And then I ask him, na kwani leo mom hajafungua? Because normally, anytime my mom would open, Simon will place his order quite early, either chicken or fish. That's what he used to eat. I was like, kwani leo mama hajafungua na utakula nini? And then he told me, just wait for me in the office. I need to finish up something with this parent. He had a parent he was dealing with. So I'm seated in the office. Then Blackie goes. Blackie did not say a word. Blackie when Simon said, wait for me in the office, he ensured I was in the office, and then Blackie vanished. When Blackie vanished, remember I had left that lady out there screaming. The screams out there subsided. So I think Blackie went and took her away, because I even had the sound of the tuk-tuk, and then the screams vanished. So I'm seated in the office. I'm waiting for Simon. I think I waited for like 5-7 minutes. My phone, I really can't remember if my phone was ringing or it was not ringing. Then I get impatient. I go and ask Simon, what's up? Is everything okay? Mbona mama hajafungua? What's not happening? And then he goes like, nakuja tu sai. Then I go back to that other office. Then I get impatient. I go back and ask him, niambie kweli, mama kwa wapi? And then he pulls me outside, because he was with a parent. He pulls me outside and tells me, mama amegongwa na gari, but ako sawa kuhusi. Which meant mom has been knocked down by a vehicle, but she's okay, she's in hospital. Then I tell him, okay, sawa, wacha niende hosi. He's like, no. Just wait for me, nakuja kukupeleka. Just wait for me, I'm coming so that we go together. I'm like, so now, I think now then, my impatience just kicked in. Because now I was so confused. I was so impatient. I was so angry. I think now the things were starting to dawn on me, but still, I don't know what's dawning on me. One, I hope you remember the chronological events. I've received that text from Jay saying, uko wapi? Unajua madha amegongwa na gari na amededi. 2, these minibuses refused to carry me. Yes. 3, Blackie, the outgoing, outspoken tuk-tuk driver, is so silent. 4, the stairs at the stage there was so weird as well. 5, the scream from this lady. 6, Blackie leaving me all of a sudden there. So I was just like, now there's a lot going on and I need to understand what's going on. So I got impatient. Then I told him, wewe simama tu nipeleke kwa mam sahi ndo nijue vile yako. Nikamuza ako hospitali gani. Then he went silent. So now I'm really angry. I'm getting angry because I need to know where is my mother. If she's in hospital, I need to go to the hospital ASAP. Then, luckily, I don't know what happened with the other parent. Simon finished with the parent, and then now he came to me. And then he sat me down and told me, wacha tu nipige simu, nijue kwa hospitali gani tuende. All this time I'm just like, watu wananiona. Tit zao. So eventually I just asked him. So I sat, now you'd think I'd become the comforter. So I sat him down and told him, niambie tu kweli. I just want to know the truth. Kama mama amegongwa na gari, ako hosi gani? Tuende tu uko sai, ama niite mtu anipeleke juu kama uko busy. Then he took like, I think 10-15 seconds, and then he was like, enye Brenda, mama amegongwa na gari na amekufa. I was like, so in my head I was like, so ungesema tu hivyo kitambo. But now you see I couldn't verbalize this. But then in my head I was like, ungesema tu. Then I look at him, and then he tells me, just wait for me here. And then all of a sudden, Blackie makes a comeback. You remember Blackie? Blackie makes a comeback. And he's still not talking. Unajua, that's what Unajua like I wish angesema tu kitambo Brenda madhe amegongwa na gari na ametuacha. So Blackie makes a comeback. So Simon called Blackie, told Blackie, come pick Brenda, take her home. So we used to stay there, up there, 5th Avenue, I think, or 4th Avenue, I can't remember. Yeah, so Blackie comes, I get into the tuk-tuk, and again. So now I'd understand the quiet. I understood why Blackie was quiet, because I was like, okay, and yeah, this is a lot to process. This is a lot to process. Because the ride from my silage to our home, to our house, was very silent that day, very silent. If you know me, I'm really outgoing. So anytime you see me quiet, people always ask me, Brenda, are you okay? No, that's the same thing with Blackie. Blackie was always talkative and always had an answer to everything or an insult to everything. Anytime you'd come to Blackie, niaje, nakwambia, kwenda huko, peleka salamu. Now today, Blackie is not talking. So now that ride made me understand, okay, now I understand why Blackie was quiet the whole time, you know? So we get home. No one was home. My brothers were not there. Then my firstborn bro used to work in Kisii. This other secondborn bro of mine was away in church. We are SDs, so on Sundays we normally have programs. So he had a program in church. So we got home, and then I think like 5 minutes later, my bro, the secondborn bro, was brought in by some of his friends. And I think that's when it dawned on me. So no. My bro came, and then the people from church came, and I was like, things are moving so fast. Now people are in the house, people are singing. Things were just moving fast. People were working on the... Things just went from 0 to 100. People were in the house singing. People in the house praying. You see that 24th July, that Sunday, all these things happened. People came, they started singing, they started praying, they started arranging the house so that it could fit the guests. I was like, there's a lot going on. So you just give us time. But you see that point, you can't tell someone, stop, no. So I remember, I saw my bro, I think my bro got overwhelmed. He went to the kitchen, and then he started crying. When I saw my brother cry, is when it hit me, Mom is normal. I saw my brother crying. My brother was Mom's favorite child. That we made peace with it from kitambo. My second bro was Mom's favorite. Hiyo hata, we made peace with that, and we're like, tunajua unapendanga nani? My brother is called Albert. Tunajua unapendanga Albert, so hata inajo tusumbue. We knew. So when I saw him crying, it hit me. Hey, enye mama amedidi. Wa? Mama amegongwa na gari na amedidi. Hey. So things just started happening. People started sleeping at our house. That very day, there was someone sleeping at our place. Not someone, people sleeping at our place. That very day, our utensils were not enough. We had to borrow neighbors to cater for visit. There was a lot. That 24th, a lot happened. That 24th, meetings were held. That 24th, my mom was moved from City Mortuary to, is it Chiromo? Yes. So this is what happened with my mom. When my mom left her sister's house at 5-something a.m. So she was going to open her hotel and then proceed to meeting me. So while she was up Honeypot, opposite Legend, while she was crossing now to this other side, their Legend, so that she can board a matatu and proceed to Masai Lodge, she was crossing, so there was a white fielder coming. This white fielder is the one that hit her, and just, it was a hit and run. So she was hit, the vehicle hit her, or rather knocked her. Then my mom flew up. And then when she was landing, she hit, there's a pole that was, I don't know if it's still there, but the last time I was in Rongai, I checked it and it was there. There was a pole that is outside Legend, just next to the road. So when my mom was landing, she came down, I think she knocked the pole and then landed. So she died on the spot, because when I went to see my mom that day in the mortuary, my mom did not have any bleeding on her clothes. It's just the dust that you could see on her clothes. She had internal bleeding. The impact was so much, she had internal bleeding. She was really intact. I think the injury to the head is what killed her, because She had no bruises. She did not break any bone, any leg. She did not break any leg, any hand. She did not. Then the second time it dawned on me, there was a lot that happened on that 24th. Second time it dawned on me that my mom was no more, was my brother, my firstborn brother then was engaged. He was not married. The wife now, who was the fiance then, is a nurse. So when my mom died, her eyes were kidogo, slightly open. So I just saw my sister, my sister-in-law, shut her eyes. That's when it hit me. Hey, umama ameenda, So yeah, and then we had to. So whenever such an incident happens, when she died that morning, the police were informed. I don't know who informed the police. We'll talk about it because I was told so many stories. When she died, she was picked by the GK. Normally, if the GK picks you, it takes you to city mortuary. Yeah. So don't die vibaya. So she was picked, taken to city mortuary, and then when my family now came together, we moved her. Then that very day, we moved my mom from city mortuary to Chiromo. Is it Chiromo Amali? Hii yenye iko hapa UN, si ni Chiromo? Yeah, if I'm not wrong. So we moved her the very day. Yeah, and basically that's how I was welcomed into the content creation space, because I remember after my mom's death, I started writing about my experience as a girl raised by a single mother. I wrote about it through our blog, and then I realized I hadn't healed enough. I stopped. I went for therapy. And now I think it's just nice for us to talk about these things you go through when you go through grief, because there are so many things that happen. Because that very day, that 24th when my mom died, I had already seen so many relatives I hadn't seen in years. I had already, like, things were happening so fast. Comments were being thrown left, right, and center. But you see, when you're fresh in grief, you do not really internalize what's going on. Now, later is when you're like, na ule mama alikuwa anasema nini ile siku, You're like, hizo vitu tulifanya zilikuwa necessary. So this is why I came up with this podcast. I'm not new into content creation or podcast. I came up with this podcast because I know even the cultures I've experienced when my mom died, when my grandmothers died, like I'm just always like, is that necessary? So, yeah, let's talk about these things that you go through when you go through grief. What are some of the weird things? What are some of the shocking revelations you found out? I know people have so many shocking revelations. You find out, Siju, when your dad died, you have stepsisters. Siju, when your mom died, you find out this brother is not my real brother. Siju, when your dad died, you found out you have so many properties while you are languishing in poverty. I don't know. I'll follow up if my mom had property and yet I'm here struggling, When when you lose a loved one is when so many things come up, so many things that you have to deal with. Hadi unajiuliza, why didn't we deal with all this when they were alive? So yeah, let's talk about this, because I don't think it's something we should shun away from. It's something we should embrace, because at the end of the day, njiani here, all of us are headed there. Because we are all going to die eventually. And also, I want us to talk about if someone has lost. So we'll talk about people who've lost their husbands, people who've lost friends, because friendship is also a loss. When you lose people in your life, that's a loss. People who've lost their wives, people who've lost their children, people who've lost jobs, because all that is grief. If you've lost something, if you've just lost something, we've all lost something in our lives. So how does it make us feel? But the only difference is this podcast, we are not crying. And if we cry and laugh. We cry and laugh. We cry and laugh in equal measure. There is no crying. Though we are going to be having serviettes here, so that in case you get overwhelmed, you just let us know. And also, this is my plea to anyone out here. If you want to share your story, if you want to share your grief journey, how bad was it? I can tell you for sure, my grief journey was bad. There's a day someone asked me if I was bipolar. My grief journey was bad, because there are days I was happy. The next, I'm missing my mother. I'm crying. Nowadays, I talk about it and I don't cry. So how bad was it? If you want to share your stories on your losses, please feel free to send us an email. Niko na email. Yeah. So if you want to share your story, please feel free to reach out through my socials, Brenda Nyambeki, or through our pages, The Healing Laugh. Feel free to DM us. We will be putting out an email ASAP so that you can feel free to reach out to us, so that you can share your story out there and just encourage and make someone laugh out there, Yeah. Let me tell you something weird I experienced culturally when my grandmother died, my father's mother. I was told, that day I remember my mom almost beat people. I was told, Ati, shosho amekauka lips. Now she's in the coffin. Shosho amekauka lips and mpake Vaseline. My mother almost beat those people. Ati unajua, since we ni mjukuu, ni poa tu. Mamangu kidogo apite na wao. Yeah, so those are some of the stories we want to talk about. What are some of the weird things, the unique things, the nice things, So feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to share. Feel free to comment. And above all, remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this episode 1 of The Healing Laugh. My name is Brenda Nyambeki. Till the next episode. Mwah!